one of the things that you have talked about in some other interviews and some other things I've watched you on is you tell a story about a guy, I forget what industry it was. It might have been the digital advertising, but he was supposed to be the leader and his delivery and his communication was just not good. He was brash, he was borderline insulting, and it was turning people off. So you became the mediator kind of between the two and you integrated all his stuff and you presented it the right way. And I think that that's a hugely underutilized thing where when I talk to entrepreneurs and especially new investors, all they want to know about being successful is like, how do I calculate ARV? How do I find a good contractor? And I'm like, that's not really the stuff that's going to keep you from doing this long term. You need to learn how to treat it like a business with people because really that's the key is this is a people business. And if you don't know how to deal with people and you're not easy to work with, people aren't going to want to work with you. And I think touching on that, what you were coming to was emotional intelligence. And I feel like a lot of people today discount mindset and emotional intelligence as a major skill for long-term business. And you seem to have it. I know Eric has it and stuff. So talk about how you figure that out because I think that's a huge thing where even if people can make you money, if they don't make you feel good, if they don't make you feel valued, if they don't deliver the information the right way, people aren't going to stick around. And I think that that's a midpoint of leadership that you seem to have very well.
Yeah, thank you. And it's a work in progress for sure. Eric's been a big inspiration in that journey, and that resonates and ripples throughout, all of our organizations. You made a really good point there where it's like human capital is your money. And managing relationships to get to where you want is ultimately what you want to do, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together style thing. We worked on the business for, Eric had a phenomenal business. He was in business for 15 years before I joined. Was doing a couple hundred deals a year. And, I came in there and we had kind of an agreement in place where we wanted to scale the operations, which was infrastructure and internal. So that's awesome. Month 0 to 3, we had 40% attrition of employees and it was just mass chaos. I think 4 of our 6 leadership positions left in the first 30 days. And I was like, yeah, dude, thanks for believing in me. We got this, right? And immediately that changed a lot of both of our perspective on what was important in the business. And that was like the vision and the culture, and then the performance would follow. And what I mean by that is we had a leadership team, and they were the people responsible for leadership. And what we came to learn was like leadership is every position. That's leading up, leading down, right, sideways, inside out. And we started to encourage everybody where it was almost required, where people had to hold each other accountable. They had to give feedback, they had to give praise, and we needed to tighten it up. Culture was the same. Culture wasn't pizza parties and right, like giving away prizes and Christmas bonuses. Culture was the systems and processes that made people feel appreciated. It gave them clarity on what their role was. They felt purposeful. They knew what we were working towards. And the result of that was they worked harder and they worked more efficiently and they felt better about it. So everything that we wanted as an outcome, we kind of brute forced our way through until we shifted that perspective and started investing, into people. And people are a lot of work. It's ultimately why people won't build an organization or they don't want to. And right, it's like the people management thing. Today alone, I woke up before 9 o'clock. 2 of our coaching clients texted me and they had sales positions leave. Smaller operators, so extremely vulnerable position they're in, right? And I was like, thanks, guys. Like I almost had a cup of coffee, this morning, and you guys dumped this on me. But what that is kind of ultimately a lack of ownership. And we take extreme ownership so far that we implement that book into our onboarding now of extreme ownership. And what we ultimately found was that you have to hire people with high performance and download and instill process and culture into them. There's 2 things that can happen. One is you hire pet projects that you want to feel good about them and they're passionate and they just unfortunately aren't at the phase or the place in life where they deserve to fill that seat for you. Or you bring in high performers and you don't invest into them with all of the other important things and they perform for a while, then they kind of go rogue and those guys become your competitors, right, in your market. So people need to become reinforced on a 10 times more basis than you believe with support, nurturing, career progressions, 1-page plans, what's important to them. Like leaning into that stuff, people will perform drastically better once you resonate and connect with people. It's almost like you could stop training directly for performance. You invest in the people and you will get the performance from there.